Did you ever know that learning another language is similar to learning how to hear God's voice? I didn't realize that until this past spring when I was sitting on my sofa on a French course Zoom call, thinking about the many ways that French verbs can be conjugated, which is in fact not a terribly spiritual thought. When I asked, how do I request something in French? And my teacher replied, je demande. And I wrinkled my nose. Demand. That's not very polite, is it? And she smiled and she said, in English, no, but in French, it's very proper. And if left to my own devices, I would have thought that demanding something was indeed very improper. But in fact, it was very proper. This little simple exchange led me down an entire rabbit trail on the limitations of using human language to hear and express God. Let's back up. Word lover here. Yet I understand this. Word choices, cultural phrases, and even tone inflections make up a lot of how we communicate. And you also have to consider 80% of communication is nonverbal. And after the nonverbal pieces happen, we run everything that we do here through our cultural background, our lens, and even our emotion of the day. Simple phrases like je demande can suddenly become a rock of offense, even if none was meant. Plus, everyone knows, if you've been to Paris at least, pardon can take on meanings from genuine contrition and all the way to downright contempt, given the inflection you receive while being shoved unceremoniously on the metro. And so it is with God, minus the shoving. I thought a lot about this in the past months. How do you do nonverbal communication with God? Because the nonverbals matter. The circumstances, the story, the narrative you're in while you're hearing something, it always matters. And the process that you're in the middle of will inflect the sentence. And an understanding of your internal world will make all the difference. This is how we get the 80% of interpretation that makes the key difference. That's why people often feel like they have missed God, unfortunately, because they missed the 80% and only took the 20. I have a huge stack of journals like this with things I've written down from God. From hard seasons, I can hear my own inflection of pain filtering the words that I wrote. And from good seasons, I can also hear a similar filter. However, when listening to God, there is always still a true north. And the words still ring true, not just from understanding God's inflection, but from understanding my own. And I have long compared hearing God to threading a needle, like Luke 18:25. Indeed, a little to the left or to the right can make it far more difficult. Narrow is the way. This precision, wheel-gripping determination, holding fast to the words spoken, all of this means nothing without God's voice. And God is in charge of speaking for God. Here's the good news. No matter if you think je demande is an affronting phrase or a polite, proper phrase, God has a way of using the exact words, situations, phrases, and right understanding to get the message through to you. This is the mystery. A God who puts on human limitations so that we can see him rightly. And when he speaks, he does not stutter. Hi there, I'm Mary. I write and speak a lot on hearing God and learning to discern God's voice clearly. I have some online courses that you might enjoy, as well as a free Substack. And also, I post a lot of videos here, so hit that subscribe button before I slip away and keep watching. There's more where that came from.